Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode. I am your host, Christian Fowler, and joining me, as always, is former Memphis Tigers offensive lineman Gabe Kuhn, and we will be breaking down Memphis's 35-23 victory over Navy. But before we get started, Gabe,
per always,
we heard a lot about Brady White on Thursday night. So before we get into the plays, I really want to hear your opinion on his game and why he was catching so much flack.
Everybody has bad games, and I think this was one of those for Brady White. He missed a lot of reads in the first half, didn't read a lot of blitzes that he should have, didn't deliver the ball on time. There was a couple times where he should have ran, and he didn't. But overall, in that second half, I thought he picked it up and responded really well to a lot of the boos, which are a totally different conversation. But I think he needs to improve from here, and I think it's going to be a lot harder as Navy sort of showed a blueprint of what to do against him, show him some blitzing, show him some different movement up front, and he'll get confused and his head starts spinning a little bit. But I think he is a guy who will start to adjust on the fly.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You see the adjustment that he made to have the first half that he did, which was really bad. It was probably his worst half at Memphis, and then to come back, throw 3 touchdowns, and be nearly perfect in the second half. You can't ask for anything more from your quarterback. He showed mental toughness. He showed that he was able to adjust. He didn't let everything get to him. And I think when you said, sometimes his head gets spinning, you're exactly right there too, because you can tell that he gets a little overwhelmed sometimes. And when he does, he forces things, he rushes things, makes the wrong calls. But when he settles down and plays like he does in the second half, then, he's definitely a good quarterback.
Exactly, and I think there's a lot of people out there that talk about his smart decision-making a lot, and I feel like this game he did not show that at all. There were times toward the end of the game he did, but that's something I know he's going to work on going forward, and Mike Norvell will not put him in any situations where he will mess that up in the future.
So, Gabe, we both gave a little bit of our opinion on Brady White, and we will kind of weave that throughout the film room, but let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's get into it then.
And we've done the first play of the game every game, if that tells you anything.
And this first play of the game, I'm sitting up in section 117 being a fan, just being a good wholesome fan, not booing. I'm not booing.
A good alumni.
And I'm just saying, I know for a fact they're going to try something tricky on this first play because they know that Memphis is out athleting them. They know it. So this first play, you'll see they do a counter scheme. They give you all the familiar symptoms. They give you this weird motion around back, but then they pull these 2 guards. And you'll see Thomas Pickens sort of get sucked up into it, thinking that he has the quarterback on this play. I think we have another view. But you'll see Thomas Pickens right here.
Kind of sucks up underneath.
And you'll see he has the quarterback. So he thinks, okay, I'm going to go attack where the quarterback's going to end up. And it doesn't work out for him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they wanted. They want him to over-pursue so they can come back the other way. Really good play design, good way to start the game, like you said, especially when they are expecting a dive or an option to the outside, and you come back the other way. So good play design. They definitely caught Memphis off guard.
And I will say it was a really good job by Thomas Pickens actually going to chase down the play after he got sucked up by the action. But I want to notice one thing about this, and this is serious. Number 68 here.
It's a big boy.
He needs to unhitch the trailer, my guy. Whew.
You ever run that slow?
I was never that slow, man. I had that 5.2 speed. That's not fast, but it ain't that slow.
That's like a 5.5, 5.6 speed. That dude is a big dude.
Maybe. I've seen 5.8, 5.9 speed, okay? That's probably more what that was. But this first play from scrimmage, you knew it was coming. G power, G lead. Here it is.
Shocker.
Here it is. 75 yards to the house. You'll see the left guard. You think Scotty gets away with a little bit of a...
Maybe a little something.
He was readjusting. I'm not going to give him a false start call on this one. But you'll see the left guard here and Dylan Parham. He pulls out. He has no one to get, so he turns up and leads him up through the hole, basically. Well blocked.
Perfectly blocked. I think that was Dustin blocking down either combo to the linebacker.
Poor number 10, though.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
He couldn't keep up.
And this is one thing we didn't know. I mean, we knew about Kenny that he was fast, but did you know he was this fast? This is real speed.
I've seen some breakaway speed in practice, but I'm going to be honest. I thought when he was tracking him, live, I thought he was going to get him, and then I saw that the angle was that bad, and you can see down here he just loses all balance.
He tried, man. Like the momentum had to be that. So like his arms start flailing everywhere. Poor guy.
And he goes down. That's face first.
But how athletic of him to jump in from the 5 and get in in there.
This was crazy.
And hold on to the ball, basically.
Yeah, you talk about speed, but the athleticism to be able to jump, was it 9 feet, 3 yards into the end zone? That's pretty crazy.
Incredible job right there. But that's a play that they're going to come back to a lot. That
Absolutely.
G lead, they got away from it for a little bit against South Alabama, and they're coming back to it.
No surprise.
Of course. They diversify that run game.
Yep.
That's one of their things that they've done since Norvell has taken over.
And then we saw a lot of struggle from the defense early on. And I think that is expected when you play a team like this because they can throw anything at you.
Of course. And the adjustments they made at halftime. I mean, they have 3 points in the second half?
Yep.
Great job. I think on this play, Navy threw a wrinkle at him. Because normally what you would see in this zone read is Austin Hall here at the bottom of the screen attack the quarterback. But instead they take the tackle, block Austin Hall, and they wrap this tight end inside for the linebacker.
Right.
And it just throws them off. They don't even block Everett Cunningham.
Nope.
They let him take the dive. So Austin Hall's nowhere to be found because he's getting blocked. Yeah, so you can't do anything about this. It's a really good play design. You throw a wrinkle at him. But I think in the second half, they found a way to stop this from happening.
Because, like you said, with them leaving Everett unblocked, that's exactly what they want. They want you to attack that dive because if you do, they're going elsewhere with the ball, and that's what happens. They get a 20-yard run on 2nd and 15 just from making you think the ball's going somewhere else.
With this, though, you just have to limit it. Like you said, there's Everett Cunningham unblocked. He gets the tackle, but they pull it.
Yeah, that's when you got to sit. That's the thing we talked about last week going into this game is just being disciplined.
And I think they were on that play for the most part.
Yeah, no, they definitely were, but just being able to sit and read a little bit more before attacking because they really will trick you. They make you want to do things a little bit quicker than you want to.
Absolutely. And I think that's a wrinkle that you don't see from a triple option team all the time is them taking a tackle and blocking the outside linebacker to make sure he cannot get on the quarterback.
Right.
So, I mean, hats off to Navy. They schemed it up really well in that first half.
Here we go with Austin Hall. He's made plays all season, switching over to linebacker from safety, and he's looked really well at that linebacker spot. I think he's more built for that linebacker spot.
Sure tackler is what he is.
Very sure tackler, very disciplined player, smart football player, perfect for a linebacker.
And right here, this is basically what Navy loves to. This is their bread and butter play right here. This is sort of that pitch, that speed option that they try to do. And the problem here is, you can't try to string out a Memphis defense that's way more athletic.
Right.
You. And that's what you see here is Malcolm Perry starts his track and he realizes, oh, no, I have a D tackle beating me to the spot.
Right.
And there's no way you can get that pitch off. If you pitch it, it'll probably get tackled for a loss as well. But you have Austin Hall from the backside tracking it down the whole way.
Desmond Hawkins did a great job of busting through and really wrecking that play. Because like you said, without him being there, they can get to the outside and potentially make a play. But with him forcing him back, and Austin in pursuit on the backside of the play, it just worked out perfectly.
And when you force this Navy O-line to do some real blocking, and this is sort of an outside zone scheme, they start to get confused. And Desmond Hawkins absolutely beats the backside of the center and just sort of wreaks havoc on this play. But really good job all around, and I think that has to do with Adam Fuller teaching this scheme and being able to scheme up team to team like he does.
Yeah, they were like you said, they threw some wrinkles, which when you have never seen those before, it's going to be difficult to stop. But when they settled into the game, they allow 81 yards and 3 points in the second half, and that's really all you can ask for.
Absolutely, man. Just the limit of the big plays. They didn't let they were not going to let the dive get any big yardage, and they didn't let it happen all night.
It couldn't do anything.
They had to get out to the outside, but the problem is if you're Navy and you're trying to get to the outside all night on Memphis, eventually those athletes are going to catch up to you.
That's exactly what they did. Just attacking the football is all it was.
This I went back and looked a few times. This is a basic inside zone scheme that they tried to run, and Dylan Parham has been awesome since last season, but you know what he did here? He just went the wrong way.
Just missed.
Literally, no, not even miss. He went the wrong way completely. What Navy did here, they're about to bring a X blitz or a cross dog, whatever you want to call it, where the front side linebacker is going to take this front side A gap, and this guy's going to take the back side A gap, and it sort of, I guess, throws Dylan for a loop, and he just doesn't block the right way.
Anybody.
He went the wrong direction, and if he blocks this hat up, who knows? This play could have been out the gate. If 54 gets blocked up, You see Dustin gets on the second linebacker.
You basically have one guy to beat at that point.
Yeah, and Manny's on the D tackle. So it would have been blocked up correct, but he just went the wrong way. And sometimes it's happening. These are just brain farts, basically.
Right. And that linebacker, number 54, was giving them trouble a ton in the first half because he was coming up playing pursuit and blitzing a lot. And I think that was a big part of why their offense looked so confused.
They got to hold on to the ball, though. The ball security was really bad in the first half, and that cost them. But what we have to see more of is just ability to know your assignments on the offensive front and not let things like this happen. They got lucky. They got on this, and were able to keep it in their possession.
Yeah, and that was more mesh point than actually a fumble. It's because he got
when
back
you have
there
an extra
so
guy back there,
right.
You get confused. You don't
right.
know. Okay, I'm reading off this guy, but there's an extra hat back here, so I don't know what to do with it. Right here, and this is we're gonna see later one of the best plays that Brady White ever has had at Memphis.
This is not it.
This is
this is not it.
In my opinion, this is one of the worst. What you'll see here is a blitz look. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys up on the line. I think they bring. Let's see.
Here's my question before you get into this: if that's you jumping right there as an offensive lineman,
that should have been a.
It should have been encroachment.
That should have been encroachment.
But you, as an offensive lineman, you have to jump to get that flag.
And another thing is, I will point this out: Dustin does a really veteran move and touches him. I don't know why they didn't call that.
Yep, I didn't even see that the first time through.
If you're Brady, you know you have a 5-man protection. Your running back is out into the flat running a little wheel route.
Right.
You've got to know that this guy at the top of the screen is unblocked if he comes.
Right.
You should probably throw hot to whoever this is at the top of the screen, and that's a big problem. So let's play this through. They bring just about everybody. It's basically a 6-man pressure, and he tries to run away from a guy, and you gotta know if you're hot and you don't make that read, you have to
get rid of the ball,
and you have to hold on to the ball if
Yeah.
you're not gonna make the read. It's different. If you actually make the read and throw it out there, that's perfect. That's the perfect play. But on this one, his head was spinning. He saw all these bodies up here, and he didn't know where to go. He didn't expect this guy to trigger, and it cost him. It really cost him in this first half. This is a really bad play by Brady White, and I think he knows that, and I think Mike Norvell knows that.
Yeah, and like you were pointing to, you have to diagnose that blitz, and when you do, you have 3 options at that point. You throw that hot. If it's not there, throw it away. And if he is there quick enough and you're going to take a sack, hold on to the ball.
And people have been talking about the offensive line's protection a lot. They really have. And I think through the first 3 games, they had some struggles. I think in this game, they picked it up. They picked up their 5 men right here. They picked up their 5 men. This is an unblocked hat. There's no way anyone can block that. That is Brady's guy.
Yep.
And he makes the play and causes the fumble. And that's just a really bad quarterback play. End of the day, and that's straight up put, no sugarcoating it.
Yep, and that's when people started to go downhill Thursday night on Brady.
And this is awesome. He's got a great name too, Gabe Rogers. Good job. I think it might be Gabriel. I'm a Gabriel.
Gabriel, yeah.
I'm a Gabriel. So I mean, I don't know.
And this was crazy to me because when you get down 2 scores,
and this is a turning point in the game.
Oh, absolutely. This is probably the biggest play of the game because when you get down 2 scores to Navy, you're almost as good as done because they're going to control the ball. And Memphis looked dead in the water at this point. They had no momentum. And a JUCO transfer who touched the ball for the first time in his career takes it to the house.
And I don't think I agree with the fact that you can't do wedges anymore, even a 2-man wedge. But what they do here, I think this is Keith Brown and JoJo Dorcius. They do a great job of sealing off this edge. And look at this lane.
Wide open.
I mean,
all you gotta do right there is make that cut.
Yeah, you have a personal protector right here to come down. He doesn't even have to touch number 10 because 10 is not making this tackle.
That play.
But obviously he gets his lane, and then it's all on Gabe Rogers to make the kicker miss. And
little hurdle.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah,
I will take my chances. Great play to the house. He's got a little speed too, a little breakaway speed right here.
I thought they were going to catch him right
and
there.
I think the return game is going to be something that a lot of teams are going to have to focus on down the stretch. When you looked at what Antonio Gibson even did when he got the ball in the return game, he was really nice. And Gabe Rogers obviously took it back for a TD. They didn't want to kick it to him for the rest of the game. I'll take my chances with Antonio as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that people were worried about going into this year with no Tony Pollard. And obviously
no Darrell Henderson.
It's worked out.
No Darrell Henderson as well, but they figured it out. And what you notice about good teams and when they turn the corner is the little things. And I think that's a little thing that they've done with the special teams. Pete Limbo has come in, and they haven't even skipped a step.
Haven't missed a beat at all. Pete Limbo's been incredible as special teams coordinator so far. This is where the Boo Birds come in.
This is another bad play. I mean, just as honest as we can be. Very good protection. This is actually a 6-man protection. All the linemen in the back are responsible for, this box.
Right.
So there's 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers. They're responsible for it, and they pick it up perfectly. Guy slants in. Kenny Gainwell gets out here on the linebacker.
Great blitz pickup, too, by the way.
Exactly. Great blitz pickup. Steps right up, and look at all this green grass. I'm not worried. Look, the throw he could have made. I really do think he could have made this throw to DeMonte Coxey, but it's 2nd and 8. Go get the first down with your feet. Go get it with your feet. And I know he wants this play back. And I don't know what that ball was.
Yeah, all he said after the game was that was one of the worst throws I've ever made. And I think that's all you can do at that point is own it.
Yeah, you have to. And I think if he throws this ball, he throws a dart to the sideline, this is an easy first down as well. But I don't know where he was floating this to. I don't know what he thought. I don't know what was going through his mind. Maybe his head was sort of spinning since he had to evade, get out of the pocket. But you'll see from this angle, this is a good blitz pickup. They have a lot of movement. They're being aggressive. 54 comes around the edge. They slant inside. This is not necessarily the easiest blitz to pick up, and they do it. They give him a place to step up.
You got to love to see Kenny Gainwell do that, though, at such a young age.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also,
could have thrown it there.
Joey's wide open, too. I think that's what that pump was, too.
He saw it at first. I think that's where he was going at first, and then saw DeMonte wide open down the sideline. So
this ball, I don't have any explanation. I don't think he has any explanation for it. No. Yeah, it's just a really bad ball, really bad decision. There was a lot of things he could have done that would have been better there. Run, throw a dart, throw it to Joey. Plenty of things.
Absolutely. And this was really, to me, the drive that changed the game right here. When Memphis knew that Brady was struggling, Coach Norvell knew that Brady was struggling. So he said, you know what, we're going to get under center, we're going to run the ball, we're going to throw screens, and it ended in a touchdown. But it really starts with this right here. When you give a team
I wonder what play this is.
Yeah.
I wonder what play they're running here. Little G lead. You'll see the left guard comes out, gets out on this force player, and that's block. A great lane. Manny Arona gets just enough on this second level.
Look at Joey getting to the linebacker.
Joey has been so good as an inline blocker this year, and that's something when he came in, that is not something that he did all that well. And I think he's put on the weight. He's got the size to do it, and I think he's learned how to do it really well.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about him not getting the ball as much as they would like, but to see what he does in the blocking game is incredible.
What he does for the run game is really good for this team. And sometimes it's good to play a little big ball. Yeah. That's how you win games down the stretch is being able to out-physical the other team.
Absolutely.
And what they do here is beautiful. Gets the first down. And look at Manny with the little extra shove. Good job getting downfield.
DeMonte Coxey is just a mean blocker, man.
Yeah, he's locked up with that guy. They tried to flip him off, but it's too late. I already got you 10 yards downfield, my guy.
And here's your confidence throw, in my opinion.
This is where it started, basically.
Right. At this point, Norvell could have said, okay, we're going to run the ball. We can play 4-down football here, run the ball, and see if we can get in and say we're better than you up front. But he has enough confidence in Brady to draw him up a play that he knows is going to be open and let Brady hit it and build a little confidence. So in the long run, this play is very smart because I think if you do run the ball 4 times here, you're telling Brady, we don't trust you.
Well, yeah, we don't have confidence. You have not done good to this point in the game, and we don't trust you going forward.
Right.
But what he does is he draws up a nice little pick play and gets Kadarian right out here on the edge. Easy throw and catch. But at the same time, you do have to throw that to the outside. If he throws this ball the wrong way, it could be a mistake.
Yeah. So perfectly designed. I believe it's DeMonte on the outside who gets the pick. Makes the safety go underneath and ends in a touchdown. That's all you can ask for.
We'll roll out, move the pocket. Good job on the protection. Easy throw and catch. Good job to get the confidence going for that team. And
then the defense finally starts to play. Okay, here's the thing from rewatching the film. Did they struggle in the first half? Yes, but they also made a lot of good plays in the first half. It was just the chunk plays. It's the outside misdirections and stuff that were killing them.
And you got to understand, Navy came out with a game plan on offense.
Oh,
they had a lot of different wrinkles that they threw at this defense And then the second half, they couldn't run those anymore because they knew they were going to be on to him. So they go back and they resort to their normal stuff. And I think that's sort of a problem. This is just a basic triple option. And you'll see right here, I want to sort of spot shadow this. Morris Joseph.
Absolutely
beautiful job on going. He gets the dive. Austin's on the quarterback. And then look, you have you have your choice. TJ Carter, Zay Collins, whoever this is back here, all for the pitch man.
Yep.
It's easy. That's a huge loss, and that's sort of if you're going to beat Navy, you have to take away this because this is their bread and butter. This is what they love to do. This is their main play. This is first day of install in camp. This is what they put in.
Yep.
If you can't stop this, you can't beat Navy. And
Memphis shut down every part of it on this play. From dive to quarterback to pitch man, you cannot draw it up any better.
Morris Joseph showing a little bit of extra, he's dangerous out there, man.
Come out of nowhere making plays this year.
That's beautiful. And I think Zay Collins has done a really good job. He was a guy who came in with a little bit of injury, and I think he stepped up dramatically
absolutely.
from that injury and been able to be a really good anchor for that defense.
And we've already looked at Gabe Rogers, who's from Jones County Junior College, and so is Wardalis Ducksworth. So you had the Jones County Junior College players making big plays. I don't think I've seen Wardalis in yet.
And let me sort of start this by saying if it's 2nd and 16 and you have Navy in the shotgun and they have a obvious passing down, you're in a good spot as a defense. You're in a really good spot as a defense. And I think what Adam Fuller drew up here is he knew, okay, on these obvious passing downs, they do a full slide. They're going to slide one way or the other, and we're going to figure it out. So they do this full slide. They only have one guy to come off the edge, and he inserts himself. Look at this. Obviously, they don't. Malcolm Perry's pretty slippery, man.
He's
slippery.
Back there.
Really good job, though, scheming that up. When you get them in that position, this is the perfect blitz to bring.
Yeah, and
very timely.
We just talked about Morris Joseph, and this is actually the play right after the Zay Collins tackle for loss. So Morris Joseph with back-to-back big plays. He doesn't get the sack, but
he absolutely affects
this. He forces him up.
You think 71's having a little bit of trouble with him? Absolutely,
just a little bit.
Man, I think he's going to be a guy they need to lean on down the stretch to be that guy. Really good inside move by him here.
Everybody in the backfield, that's what you want.
Yeah, when you force those guys at Navy to do that, to pass protect, they don't do that.
No, they're not nearly as well versed in pass blocking as they are run blocking. So when you get them in the obvious pass situations, you throw different stunts, you throw stuff like that, and you end up getting to the quarterback.
And you talk about head spinning. Their head spins like crazy if they see a blitz at all in the pass game.
They're used to hat on a hat, dive, triple option. Now
this is honestly, you finally saw that some of that momentum and some of that confidence was building in Brady White. But at the same time, Antonio Gibson absolutely torches this guy.
Oh, he makes this safety do all types of stuff.
So he's right here in the slot, sort of second from the top, and he makes him flip his hips right here on the 40. And if you're running a skinny post, I think that's over.
It's over.
You're dead. Antonio Gibson has way too much speed. And by the way, look at this pocket. Really good pocket.
Clean pocket.
Very clean pocket.
He's able to step up. Puts it on the money.
Step up, slings it.
Puts it on the money. 40 yards.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of his farthest throws of the year so far. No complaints, but Antonio Gibson had him by what? Almost 5 yards here.
And I tweeted this during the game, Gabe. We have
been
calling for Antonio Gibson to be used because he is such a dynamic athlete. He's 6'2", he's 225, he can run, he's got good hands, and here we go.
Unfortunately, it's because, Pop Williams is out, and that's why he's getting more touches. Right. But I think he's going to step in there and be an absolute problem for defenses.
When you get into conference play, everybody knows that Memphis wants to get the ball to DeMonte Coxey. When you have another guy who can beat coverages, because if they're trying to double team DeMonte Coxey, I honestly don't think there's too many people that can straight up play Antonio Gibson one-on-one, especially out of the slot, because like I said, it's so big that he can still outrun safeties and linebackers. So,
his run after the catch is probably the best on the team when you look at it.
Yeah, completely agree. So he is a weapon, and I think they will continue to utilize him.
And I think this is the point in the game where Memphis's athleticism took over.
Yeah,
and just straight up, you see it with Antonio Gibson getting about 10 steps on this corner right here. It's just over. He did cruises into the end zone, easy touchdown, easy throw and catch.
And it felt over at that point. It felt like they took everything. From
Yeah,
Navy
they took
point.
the air out of Navy's whole team.
And this team, before we get into this next play, this team feeds on each other so well.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that I wrote about after the game, is that you can kind of tell when a team is starting to mesh, and they feed off of each other. So your offense feeds off your defense, and they just kind of hype each other up.
And that can work in negative ways, as you saw in the first half. They sort of came out slow. Both sides of the ball sort of didn't have the energy that they should have, but the second half they absolutely took off.
Yeah,
it was good to see.
Energy on both sides of the ball, and then when you allow Memphis' defense to start making plays, their athletes and their playmakers can step up like O'Brien Goodson does here.
O'Brien Goodson, this is what he loves to do. He loves to pin his ears back and go get some penetration. And I want you to tell me, is this some good penetration right here?
I mean, he's quicker. He's quicker than 99% of centers and guards. So if he gets off, they can't touch him.
Has absolutely no chance to get down on him. They're running. They're just sort of bread and butter. They were trying to go back to that counter they ran.
It was that misdirection. Exactly. It was the first play of the game over again, and O'Brien Goodson was not having it.
Yeah, he beats the guard, takes out the first puller, takes out the second puller, and gets the tackle.
If you look, they have it again, because watch what Austin Hall does. Austin Hall sucks up. If O'Brien Goodson doesn't make that play, that could be another big one.
Absolutely, and that penetration is going to kill this play. Any penetration, if you pick off pullers in a power scheme or a counter scheme, the play is over.
It's gone.
And it's a really good job right here. Penetration like crazy, and that's 5 yards in the backfield by a D tackle. You don't see that very often, especially against a Navy team.
Not at all.
And doesn't really allow a bunch of penetration up front.
I don't think we can overstate how important. I think we talked about this last week, how important he is to this defense, and he just continues to prove it every game. He is
him and JoJo, like I said, they're not the biggest dudes, but they're spark plugs.
Absolutely.
They bring some juice to that defense. They bring some definitely some strength and some speed up front.
Right.
And it just fits for an offensive line to handle that up front.
So we've talked a lot about Brady White this episode. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And in my opinion, this is the best throw he's ever made in a Memphis uniform.
This is the best play I've seen from him. Really clean pocket here. I think they only bring 3, so better be clean. But he throws away. We're going to go to the other view because I know it's really good from the other view. But he throws it away from the safety who was converging. And you'll see it from this view. Good pocket.
He's going to come down with a full hit of steam. That safety knows.
Is this number 10?
Yep, number 10. He's
coming
down. Number 10.
He's coming down. He's trying to cut off this inside. Look where this ball is placed. Right on the outside.
Perfect. Because if he throws that ball inside, that's an interception all day.
It's either a pick or DeMonte Cox is getting his head ripped off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throws it to the outside, and that's going to carry you into the end zone. Yep. And you can talk about DeMonte Cox making a play on this play all you want, but that throw led him into the end zone.
Yep. Throw was... if you can get some more throws like that...
You talk about some of the ugliest possible plays we have ever seen from Brady White in a Memphis uniform, and then you bring that out at the end of the game. It definitely sealed off and it gives you hope for the next game. But you got to understand, when they start blitzing Brady, he could be a limiting factor to this offense.
Absolutely. He's got to be able to keep his head on when he's getting blitzed.
Absolutely.
And I think that...
And we do know that he does lack some arm strength.
Right.
And his mobility's not great. So he has to be, absolutely has to be the smartest player on the field. And in the first half, when he wasn't the smartest player on the field,
we saw
it showed.
Yeah,
it showed. It reared its ugly head, and it did not look good. So this was one that was on.
This is a special request for me.
Yeah, this was a special request for me, and there's some blue check marks in this market who brought this up, and I just thought it was very interesting. At the top of the screen, he was referring to this 3-on-2 at the top of the screen. And you can say what you want about body counts, but if you're running an RPO and you have an extra hat here blitzing at the bottom of the screen, this corner, you have to get rid of it to your playmaker. There's no other decision. If he holds on to it and tries to let anything here at the top of the screen happen, he's going to get absolutely hit in the mouth by number 3.
Right.
And the play is dead before it starts. And again, I will take this matchup 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
You have DeMonte Cox on a safety rolling down who has shown in this game that he's not the most athletic safety in the world. He couldn't even come close to catching Kenny Gainwell. Obviously, Coxie just has to make this guy miss.
Yeah.
And I think he hits the ground. He's mad. He knew he's got to make him miss. And it's we call that a hot route. When you have a corner blitzing.
If you have anybody uncovered, you throw the ball there. You throw the ball right where the blitz comes from.
Wherever he vacates from, you throw it to him.
Yep, absolutely.
And you can say all you want about body counts and everything else, but
that's the read. He made the perfect
Look
read.
what number 3 would have done here had he held on to the ball.
Absolutely.
He would have absolutely drilled him. Great decision making here. Obviously, you want to get the first down, and I think they could. I think they got the first down a lot of the times when they went to this play and he made that hot read.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Gabe, we went through the whole game, and I want to talk a little bit more about Brady White. I feel like we're rehashing at this point, but
we got to talk about it.
It's so interesting because people have felt this way about him since he got on campus because he does. He has deficiencies. I think he'd be the first to admit that he's not the perfect quarterback. He knows he's not the perfect quarterback. He's smart. He's a very intelligent football player. He will get you into the right look the vast majority of the time. As long as he's not under too much pressure or too much duress, he's going to be a good quarterback. He can make certain throws. He can't hit every throw. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but he is a smart quarterback. He knows what Mike Norvell wants to do. He knows his strengths. He knows the offensive strengths, and that's why he's been successful at Memphis. Regardless of what people want to say, he is 12-6 as a starter now in a Memphis uniform.
Yeah, he wins games. But the problem is, when he does not come out and he is not as smart as he normally is, it will be a big problem for that offense. Because if he starts making mistakes and one leads to another, that offense will have a lot of trouble. And the truth of the matter is, when you look at the quarterbacks before him, and Riley and Paxton, they had big arms. They were spreading it all over the field. That's not what he is.
Not at all.
He does limit the offense in a certain sense that he's not able to spread it downfield. He's not able to open up the defense all that much. But in the end of the day, when he makes the smart reads, he can win games.
Absolutely.
And that's all you need.
Absolutely. So we've talked enough about Brady White tonight. With that being said, we've already went through the Navy game. This weekend, Memphis will be playing in Monroe, Louisiana against ULM, 2:45, I believe. This is a team you played against.
Yeah.
And they
in a monsoon.
In a monsoon. The first game of the year in 2017, correct?
Yes.
And they gave you a run for the money for a little bit. It was a little tight in the beginning of the game.
So what we did, we opened up to a big lead, and then what happened was down the stretch, we just sort of gacked it up, and we ended up winning by, I think, 8.
Yeah.
But this is a team that's not that bad. I saw they gave up 72 points to Iowa State, so this offense needs to get on track this game. And Brady White needs to come out on target. I know they're going to bring blitzes because they saw Navy do it, and he's going to have to get his head on straight and make the right reads and get them in the right place.
Absolutely, because this is the last game before they have a real road game. Yep. They played against South Alabama on the road, and now ULM on the road. Going to Temple is going to be tough.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Temple, too. To this point in the year, and I think even in this Louisiana Monroe game, they haven't seen a team that can pass the ball with a lot of juice. They've played a lot of teams that like to run the ball. You look at South Alabama, they had Trey Minter, who got knocked out of the game early. Navy does nothing but run the ball. Ole Miss, Matt Corral was really struggling the entire game throwing the ball. When they get to Temple and they get down the stretch against Tulane, they're going to see guys who can actually throw the ball a little bit. And I want to see how that defensive backfield responds.
Absolutely. So this week, last game before they hit the road to go to Temple, that will be a massive matchup. Temple is off to a hot start. They're good defensively.
Never look past Louisiana Monroe.
Never. Yeah, go ahead. Take care of your business on the road. Take care of the business on the road and come back and get ready for that Temple game. But with that being said, that is all we have today. Head over to GoTigers247.com. Check out the site. Everything you need will be there. We'll have game coverage from Louisiana Monroe on Saturday. Anything else, Gabe?
I'm all good.
All right, let's get out of here then.